Hello again, Chris Lee and Chase Robinson of Southeastern 16 here to talk college football playoffs. We don't even have the polls out that tell us what the committee's thinking yet, but we're making our own predictions, and man, it is tough. We're going to share them with you in just a moment. Boy, Chase, you feel like this is maybe going to get easier every week as teams play games and lose. It doesn't. It makes it tougher
No.
when stuff that you don't expect happens. And so I can't wait. I haven't seen your picks yet. I don't know if you've seen mine, but I can't wait to see what you've got because I'm pretty sure we're going to have some differences in a few
Yeah,
places.
look, the way this season's going is hard to project. I tried to take this on not completely. I don't know. I went about this like, here's who I think today could be it. Not trying to predict what happens in the next couple of weeks, but here's who I think,
Ah,
based off what I've seen today, is kind of how I approached it. Because going any farther than that, my head just wasn't like there was so many different directions I could go. So I approached it that way this week because it is really difficult to do this. And
yeah.
because we have no idea what the committee's going to do. We have no idea if they're going to let a 3-loss team in or what a 3-loss team will look like. Like, I don't know. There's just so much that we do not know at this point about the 12-team college football playoff.
Well, let's see what you got, Chase.
All right, here we go. Here's mine. I got Oregon in the top spot. I got Georgia 2, Miami 3, and Iowa State 4. So those would be my
Okay.
conference champs, my first round bye teams. I put Texas in at number 5. Ohio State 6, Penn State 7, Clemson 8, BYU 9, LSU 10, Indiana 11, and Boise State 12. So it looks a lot different than what I had last week. But again, I took the approach of, here's who, based off what I've seen up to this point, here's who I think are the playoff teams.
All right. Before you tell me where you had your tough decisions, tell folks who sponsors our channel.
Yep, that is Bet Online. Hey, basketball fans, it's that time of the year. The NBA is back. From opening tip-off to buzzer beaters, Bet Online has you covered with the best odds, biggest promotions, and live in-game betting on all your favorite teams this season. Every game matters, and Bet Online has every stat, every matchup, breakdowns, even live odds to bet on during the games. And it's not just the NBA. Bet Online is everything of odds on football, MLB playoffs, NHL, to political props. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet Online. The game starts here. Chris, I think where I really struggled through this was a team like Indiana, who I think they may only have 1 or 2 losses at the most when you look at their upcoming schedule. That's not a team I had on my radar, really, of being in the playoff, and now here they are. You think of a team like LSU, who they have that loss to USC. Even if they lose to Alabama, where does that put the LSU Tigers? BYU is playing really good. Boise State, really good. My list probably, and we talked about this last week, probably 19 or 20 teams that could have made it. I'd love to see Army, a team like that, in the playoff, but I didn't know where to put them. And so it's so tough because, yes, there are quite a few teams that I could have put. Alabama, they could be in here, and there's so many teams that I could have put in here, but I just didn't know. Because to me, these teams that I have on my list right now, I feel like are deserving at this point to be in the college football playoff. And so I ran out of space. I feel like we could have a 16-team playoff, 18-team playoff this year. That's what kind of year it is.
Yeah, I had the same difficulty. I mean, my long list of teams is probably close to 20, and I could go more depending on how close you consider some of these teams. But before we
what do you
pull
think
mine
about some
up,
of these matchups that I have on mine? These first round matchups.
Good point. I think one of the most closely watched things is going to be those teams wanting to be in that top 8, right? Because you go on the road, like you've got BYU going to Clemson, you flip that and make Clemson go to BYU, and maybe that changes the outcome. So that's going to be interesting, especially if we see league on league matchups. I think, boy, LSU going to Penn State, would that be fun or what?
Yeah.
Indiana matched up against Ohio State. I don't think they play in the regular season. I'll check on that.
I think they do actually, because I
No,
think
you're
that's
right.
where I was
Next to
getting.
last
I was
weekend
getting
of
the
the
one
season.
loss.
Yeah.
Because I think that
But
may
you
be
could have a
Indiana's only
rematch.
loss.
You got to, I mean, actually, that could be the third time those teams play. Because you could
Yeah.
see a rematch in the Big Ten title game potentially, depending on what happens to Oregon. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen like that. But what this college football season has taught us is rule nothing out.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, before we go to mine, just want to tell folks quickly, Future Fans help sponsor our content. And I've been telling you about them and their product recently, the way they help little kids become big fans by understanding how cool football is, which if you're watching this, you don't have to be told how cool football is, but your kids do. And if you ever try to explain it to them, you know how hard it is to give you the details and explain what fourth down is and, you know, what a holding call is and all those things. But you know what? The dads who love football invented this product and they figured it out for the rest of us. Future Fans will give you an easy button below in our description where you can go to the link to get the product. It's only about $50. You can teach your kid in an immersive experience with books, toys, all kinds of things, and give it a week or two. And I promise you, because I've heard people tell me, your child will be asking to watch football with you. So go to futurefans.com right now. Use the promo code SEC. Get 10% off your order and thank us. It is a tremendous product. I cannot believe it only costs what it does. It's so well made. But in any case, Future Fans, they help us out here at the channel, help them out in return. All right, let's pull mine up, Chase. And you know what? Mine was more similar to yours than I thought it would be. I think we had 3 of the 4 seeds right. Where we differed is I've still got Clemson getting on a heater and winning the ACC, knocking out Miami. Boy, seeding from there was really tough. I was surprised to see you had Indiana in too. I thought I was going to be the only one of the two of us with IU in, and of course we both got them in that 11 spot. I think the only difference we had, I've got Tennessee in as a 10. You had BYU in as a 9. I think BYU may get left out with one loss. And I think we're probably going to see a 2-loss Tennessee team that'll pick up a loss at Georgia, but I don't think the Vols lose anywhere else. LSU was an interesting pick. LSU could actually go unbeaten in the league and get to the title game in the conference, which I didn't really give them much thought to, but we both had LSU in there. And I think, didn't we both have LSU going to Penn State? I think we did.
We did,
maybe
yes.
different spots of the bracket. So how about that? Yeah, I think like if A&M beats LSU this weekend, maybe we flip those teams and A&M goes in as a 9. But my list of teams that the teams that I left out, and I just like I can't believe I'm leaving these guys out. But there's only so much room. I left out Notre Dame. Could regret that one. Left out BYU just because I think that the quality wins is going to be an issue with those guys. Now, if they go unbeaten, then obviously it's a different discussion. A&M I mentioned. I think Alabama, don't count those guys out. Don't count out a 1-loss Kansas State. Then, of course, you got the service academies and SMU. SMU didn't get talked about a lot and took a loss early. But watch out for that team. That's another team that could run the table, pick up some quality wins, and maybe even sneak into a first-round bye here. So it's that kind of season in college football, Chase. You just don't know what's around the corner.
Yeah, you don't. And it makes it fun, makes it hard to project things like this. But knowing that any given Saturday that your team could win, could pull an upset, or your team could lose, makes it for a fun Saturday. And so this season has been so much fun. We knew that it would be. We knew that the competition level was more even than it has been in a long time. And we're seeing that. Like the fact that there is not an unbeaten SEC team going into November is almost mind-boggling. Like how does that happen? That's not like the SEC. But it's because the playing field is so even. Everybody's beating each other. It's fun. I love it. I love the chaos and getting to project things like this because we have no idea.
We have no idea. I have no confidence in my picks, but I think that's a fun thing, actually. If we could figure it
Oh,
out,
yeah.
we would lose the joy and the fun. And just look at the AP top 25, and that tells you the kind of season it's been.
You're right. You're right. Teams that we would never have thought of. But I love seeing some of these teams in the top 25. Your Vanderbilt, Army, Navy, these guys who are, who traditionally are not, that are like, I love seeing it. And I love college. I'm a college football fan. I love college football. I love when teams are good because it makes for better football. And that's what we're seeing this year.
Absolutely. Well, we'll talk about it every Saturday night. We have a recap show. Best way to get that, hit that subscribe button. Hey, we went over 20,000 this week. So for those of you who have already subscribed, thank you. Big milestone for us. Hit the like button. That helps our analytics. And if you hit your notifications, that'll let you know when we go live as we do our Saturday night recap shows. So also covering basketball and baseball even in the off season. And you can also enable your notifications for that, which helps you get that. All right, for Chase Robinson, I'm Chris Lee. You've been watching Southeastern 16 presented by Bet Online.